We're here to judge a contest. How many of you are familiar with the contest? Is anyone actually not familiar with the contest? Does anyone not understand why we are here? Okay. Some ground rules. By the way, how many people are on right now?
Around like
61.
61.
Okay, great.
61.
Okay. So here we go. I want to tell you a bit about this contest. Then I want to tell you what we're going to do tonight, and then we're going to do it. However, first, the ground rules. Most of you have been on, I assume most of you have been on courses with me, classes with me. I love open microphones. It's a voiceover industry. Everyone should have the ability to talk. I don't want to have to mute and unmute people. I don't want anyone to have to raise their digital yellow hand. I want you to be able to talk whenever you want and interject whenever you want. However, what comes with that is a little order of respect. If there is any noise in your background, please mute your microphone. Even if you think it's soft, low noise, people talking down the hall, a dog barking in the distance, mute your microphone. Because Zoom has algorithms that kind of, it's not the intent here, but the algorithms end up raising the level of background noise. So what you think is kind of low level might be kind of high level to us. I don't want to take the chance. If there's any noise, just mute. So I want all of you to make sure you know where your mute button is right now. Make sure you know how to mute. If your phone suddenly rings, your ringer goes off, the doorbell rings, the dog's barking, you should be able to reach for that mute within a half of a second. Make sure you know where that is right now. And then, with that said,
check one,
and also,
check two. Check one, check two.
Check one, check two. Also, I really try hard in classes to look at the camera. And I'm sure all of you have done this. It's weird. I can't see any of you. I'm staring at that little camera lens. However, today I need to keep looking that direction to admit people. This particular class gives me the way it was set up, I have to admit people. So I will continually be looking that direction, and I apologize for looking away from everyone. There is not a game of solitaire or a football game going on. It is simply the admit button I'm looking for. Promise you. Like that. Okay. Here's what we are here for today. We run a voiceover contest every quarter. The last quarter ended June 30th. So we're almost 2 weeks past that, and we are running this contest. We had, I think, about 250 or 270 something entries this time.
Ow.
Someone in my office, one of the casting people, narrowed it down to 22 shortlists. This is what would typically happen in a casting call. So let's say 260 people or so entered. We have down to 22 people here. Plus
That's generous.
I'm sorry?
That's generous. Normally, it's not even that.
Well, but that's the first pass. When you go through a first pass, you end up with more people because you don't know the caliber of what's coming up next. So on your first pass, you may say yes to someone, and at some point later on, you realize, oh, there's someone even more appropriate for the job. So we have 22. I also have 12 sort of interesting, I'll call them interesting or different takes here, which I will play. So I decided to run this contest today, this review, a little differently. You know, the whole concept here is for you to learn what casting people go through. So we will go through these 22 entries, and I'm thinking about putting this class on automatic admit. I may do that. So we'll go through these 22 entries. The 22 people are kept anonymous. So what I want to do is play each of them, have everyone quickly blurt out some comments on them. 30 seconds at most. After 30 seconds, I'm shutting us down and we're moving on to the next person. Rather than have all of us on this call ultimately select a first, second, and third place winner, I'm going to do that later tonight. We're going to go through those 22 people, talk about them very briefly, as I said, for 30 seconds each, and then listen to 12 other entries that caught our attention. I'll call them interesting. Maybe it's something educational for you to learn. Maybe it's something just interesting to think about. But they are interesting. I've not heard any of these I am in the same boat as all of you. Someone in the casting team went through and selected the 22 shortlists and 12 interesting.
Or
Uh, wait, someone is talking here.
to see how I would rate.
Okay, I have someone talking there. Can they hit mute, please? If not, I will mute you. Okay, any questions of what we do? That's amazing. No questions. Okay. It's really important that after I play a file, if you recognize who it is, don't say their name. The chance is pretty slim, but I really do want to keep everyone anonymous. So in a moment, I'm going to share my screen and put the script up on the screen. And that's what we're going to stare at the whole time. Okay. I don't want you to see anyone's name. Also, when I ask for comments, please keep it brief. No long dissertations. 30 seconds. We have to move on. Otherwise, we'll be here for hours, which is fine with me. I love this stuff, but I think I have to respect everyone on a Sunday night. So, everyone got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Here we go. Okay, let me share my screen. Okay, you should see the script on the screen at this point.
Mhm.
This is the script that everyone had to work with on this audition and the voice direction. I'm going to start playing some people and we'll talk about them. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
Okay. Now, I first want to test my software. Every quarter when I do this, I want to make sure that no one can see me switch because I have to see everyone's name to be able to play their MP3. So I'm going to switch for a second. I want you to tell me if you still see the script. It's set up that you should just see the script, but I just want to make sure. Actually, wait, I'm going to do this again. I'm so scared of like showing everyone's name. Let me just double check this. Yeah, you really should just see the script here. Okay, so let me flip my own screen to something else here. Do you still see just the script?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Not
Okay.
all of it.
Not all of it?
No, we see all of it.
We see all
all
of
of
it.
it.
It's there.
It's
All
there.
I see is the first line.
It may be extra large on your screen. Oh, wait, are you on a tablet or a phone?
I'm on an iPad.
See if you can shrink that down.
Or go landscape.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, whoever said that. Yeah, rocks. Okay. So let me start going through these here. So the goal here is
I can
to
switch to a laptop.
Okay, that'd be great. Okay. So I'm going to Oh, that's funny. All I'm going to do is give you initials. This is person RK. Let me play you RK. I'll play just a few seconds. I'm playing about 5 seconds, and then we're moving on to the next person. So listen back.
As January pounds the northern states with ice and snow, birds huddle under the protection of spruce boughs for the night.
What does everyone think of that?
Very
Sounds like
pleasant.
I like
Sounds
it.
like AI.
Pleasant.
A little too careful,
Sounds like AI.
a bit impersonal.
Yeah,
It's
it is a
nice.
documentary. Keep in mind that's a documentary. The whole goal of a documentary is I have to move something here. The goal of a documentary is to sorry, I keep starting a sentence and not finishing. I'm having to move my software around here. The goal of a documentary is to not so much to be interesting. It's more so to tell the story, to tell the listener what they're looking at. Now, I'm not saying that they are emoting enough or not. I'm just kind of letting you know that it shouldn't be overly energetic or anything or playful. Okay. With that said, so keep your notes on that person if you want. That was RK. I'm going to move on to the next person here. The initials are OA. This name will take me a little bit of time to type in here. Okay, listen, here we go.
As January pounds the northern states with ice and snow.
What do you think of the level?
Level's too
Too
low.
low.
Too low. Barely understand.
Mine's too low.
So here's the thing. If that person had the best read ever, you're not hiring them anyway. And that's a shame, right? The only way we would hire that person if we were bringing them into our own studio. So that person is just out, automatically out. Okay, we're going on to the next person here. This person is TK, if you're keeping track. TK here.
As January pounds the northern states with ice and snow, birds huddle under the
A little
Thoughts?
too much
A lot
on
of
and.
sibilants.
Copy. Yeah.
It's not the point.
Too much pauses.
A lot of sibilants.
You know, I don't mind the pauses in between phrases. I think they're great in documentaries, but the pauses within the phrases, yeah, no good. Those are glottal stops, and they did make her sound choppy. I like the tone of her voice a lot,
Yeah.
but a little too choppy, and so she's out. You realize, when you have wait, am I on the right person here? No, sorry, went to the wrong person. This is CR, person CR. Here we go.
As January pounds the northern states with ice and snow, birds huddle under the protection of spruce.
Thoughts? I'm going to start sharing my thoughts as we go through. Also, your thoughts
Nice.
first, and then mine.
A little bit of sibilance.
Close to the mic for me.
Yeah, the tone is a little sharp, absolutely, which is not ideal for a documentary, right? It sounds like you're right in someone's ear. That's usually not the case for a documentary. It's very rarely the case for any long form narration. You know, it's one thing to have someone in your ear if it's short. Even then, it's kind of weird sometimes. But for a long form narration, especially an audio book or something, yeah, you don't want someone like whispering, spitting in your ear. What else? What about that? What else about that take? Listen to the first word. Tell me what you think of the first word.
As January pounds the north.
Tell me about the
Is-
entry of that first A.
Is
quick.
or as?
It was
It's
quick.
Cut
With
off.
low.
It's a little, yeah, it's
Movie.
chopped off. Someone kind of cut off their inhalation or something, and it's a little choppy the way it comes in. You know, it's the first impression. It's not optimal. So that person would be out. I'm moving on to the next person, who is GD. It would help if I spelled their name correctly on my end, which I now have done. Oop. I'm admitting some more people here. Okay, here is GD.
As January pounds the northern states with ice and snow,
Quick thoughts?
I'd keep listening.
Soft, good.
It's
Who-
slow and
someone
then
said
sped
soft.
up on ice and snow. The pacing was a little bit off for me.
Yeah, I felt that the first few words were a little slow. Listen, let's play that again.
as January pounds the northern states with ice and snow.
Just a hair slow, but not bad. Not bad.
Yeah.
I'd say she can be in the running.
I kind of like the pace for
Very
what the
pleasant. Yeah, again.
Yeah, it is pleasant. Let's move on to the next person here. The initials are KA. So far, we have two saved. We have initials RK and GD, and this is KA.
As January pounds the northern states with
Too
ice
low.
and snow, birds huddle under the protection of spruce boughs for the night and
Muffled
low.
audio.
It's a little low. I wouldn't say it's
Muffled.
well. It's not. Yeah, it's not optimal in terms of level. It is definitely low, but it's not so low like that other person we listened to earlier.
Feels a little
I could still.
monotone.
also plosive is there.
I didn't think this was monotone. Someone just said monotone.
To me, it
Well,
felt
let's-
like it was just a little bit.
Let's take a listen to that again.
as January pounds the northern states with ice and snow, birds huddle under the protection of spruce boughs for the night and
I think I personally like it. I mean, this is all very subjective. I sort of like her read.
Yeah.
Got a pleasant voice.
Yeah, I'd like to go back. Let's go back to the first person who is RK, because for at least myself, I felt like I was getting myself up and running here, and I don't think I gave RK the right amount of care here. I just want to go back and listen to RK.
As January pounds the northern states with ice and snow, birds huddle under the protection of spruce boughs for the night.
I think that's a very nice read.
Mhm.
Some of you
I
said
like it.
AI for that person.
There's something about documentaries like this and British voices.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, it's interesting that we've had a lot of women so far. Okay. Next person is a male voice. Let's go on. This person is RH.
As January pounds the northern states with ice and snow, birds huddle under the protection of spruce boughs for the night.
Thoughts?
That was a pretty bad plosive to start off with.
The plosive is there. I thought it was a little fast for documentary. Any other thoughts? Any comments?
Yeah,
Yeah,
again,
it
like
didn't sound
spruce
documentary.
boughs for the night was a little bit of an odd emphasis.
Yeah,
It sounded like AI when you said spruce boughs.
Let's take one more listen.
As January pounds the northern states with ice and snow, birds huddle under the protection of spruce boughs for the night. And
Doesn't bother me. I sort of like that read, but again, to each their own.
Mm.
If I was going through, well, I am going through, eventually choosing a first, second, third. What I'm doing on my own list is getting rid of some and keeping a few others. My hope is that I get my list of 22 shortlisted voices here down to like 5 or 6, and then I'll go through them one more time and choose a first, second, and third. Okay, next person is HMG.
As January pounds the northern states with ice and snow, birds huddle under the protection of spruce boughs for the night, and rabbits
That's very nice.
I've really liked this turn of phrase to the
Yeah.
positivism on the second half. It really smiled to me.
Yes.
Makes me want to listen.
I think that means RK is out. The
No, it's
first-
RK's sister.
That's what it sounds like. Same person.
Yeah.
Wow.
The next person is VS.
Stay tuned for 2 takes. As January pounds the northern states with ice and snow, birds huddle under the protection of spruce boughs for the night.
Okay.
A little too cheerful.
Very smiley, yeah.
Yes, I agree.
When you said no slate necessary, yet they kind of slated it.
When someone says no slate, then is really not good to slate. Does I'm not looking at the directions right now. Do they say no slate?
Said no slate.
Necessary.
No slate necessary is different than no slate.
Yeah.
I like when people tell us up front that there are 2 or more takes, because otherwise I won't know. When we have these up in a typical system like we work in Pro Tools, like many of you might work in Adobe Audition or Audacity or whatever, we can usually see where one take ends and the next begins. But when we're moving quickly, sometimes we don't even look at the WAV files. Sometimes we do just exactly what we're doing now. We just listen on a computer somewhere, just listening to the MP3s, right? I'm just doing these in preview mode. So I'm not looking at any WAV files anywhere. And so I wouldn't know that there's a second take. I kind of like when someone says, yeah, there are 2 takes. I don't like when I fast forward to the second take and it sounds the exact same, because that's just a waste of time.
Can we hear it? Can we hear the second take?
Question.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's a great idea.
Before we hear it, yeah, I'd like to see if it's different.
Yeah,
Can I ask a question?
of course.
When they slate, well, when they say 2 takes, does that mean you're going to listen for the second one, depending on the first one? Because sometimes your first you think is your best one may not catch your attention, or vice versa. That's my question. Thank you.
You're very well. Well, I haven't answered. How can you say thank you yet? It depends on the situation. Sometimes it's not that the first take is the best take. Sometimes it is just a very different take. I helped one of our interns. We have 3 interns right now, and I helped one of them record an audition for something, which he had the only callback, which is great. And it's a big national ad. It's super exciting. And we did 4 takes, and it made sense for this particular spot to do 4 takes, and they're all very different. And there's not one that's better than the other. I kid you not, I spent as much time directing him on the 4 takes as I did thinking about what sequence to put them in and how much space to put between them. To me, it's like it's a puzzle. The whole thing has to work right. So what take goes first? Is it the faster take or the slower take? Is it the more energetic take or the, and so on? Like, you just have to think about these things. And so if you give 2 or more takes, I think generally it's great to be able to say, here are 2 takes. Make sure they do sound different. Think a lot about what take goes first. There's always the theory you put whatever the client wants, what you think they want up front, and something very different after that, because you know what? Then they hear that you have variety. But if the client is completely unclear as to what they're looking for, which very often is the case, then maybe you do one that's faster and one that's slower. And who's to say which is better? So if you say up front, take 1 is faster, take 2 is slower, then the client realizes, oh, you know what? This person has variety. They have range. And maybe they don't want, maybe they want something in the middle, but theoretically you should be able to nail it in the middle because you've gone faster and they've heard you go slower.
Could you type that in the file name, like Kojo Prince, BAT Talent, 2 takes?
Sure, you can.
Okay.
Yep, but most people don't look at file names. They just,
Aha!
so here's
Okay.
the thing: when we the initial batch, every studio works differently, but I think the initial batch, most people look at the file name because I'm opening it, the file. But when we give it to clients, we may take the top 5 or take the top 10 sometimes and send those to our client and say, choose these. We will then take like all 5 or 10 that we sent to the client, put them back to back to back, and send one MP3 of maybe 5 or 10 auditions back to back, and we may put it in like first, second, third, like a numbering system. We don't want our clients to know the person's name because we're hiring the voice actors. So we might just use initials or number 1, person number 2, person number 3. So there's no file name at that point.
I have a question.
Yes.
So when I audition and I send a file in, I put my name, and then for example, for this contest, I put my name, Edge Studio, second quarter contest, something like that. So that when the person gets the file, they see the name, so that at least they have that, because it's not on the MP3 because I don't slate. So how do you like keep it all together, or that's not the talent's job?
I think anytime you have a file name for anything you do in this industry, you should include your name. You should include voice actor or VO or something, because that's super helpful. Somewhere along the way, it's probably going to help someone. You never know. Maybe no one ever looks at your file name, but if they do, it's helpful to have the name.
All right.
I think there's never a reason not to brand yourself if you have the opportunity. And I'll tell you something. And the few times that clients want slates, most voice actors do a terrible job slating. So,
But sometimes they want that file named specifically to fit some kind of thing on their end. And if you don't do it exactly the way they want it listed, they get temperamental.
I can't get
if
to where
you
I need to
can't
get
file
to
the
from here.
slating, if you can't file the slating, our
I
slating
did, but
guidelines, then why
there's a
would we hire you?
bunch of ducting in the way over there.
Wait, I
It's
need to.
far from where I need to be at.
I'm going to meet that person. Hang on. I'm not sure if that person is talking to us or someone else. I just muted them. So, yeah, Lee. Yeah, the file name is critical, because a whole lot of our work at Edge Studio is super long e-learning programs, crazy long, and like everything we do, like an educational series, will be done for 8 different grades, and then there's Spanish and there's English, and then each grade has different subject matters, and then different chapters within those, and then different grade levels and different subsections, and like the file names are super long, and if a voice actor can't get those right, it messes everyone up down the road. So file naming, as boring as it is really helpful. You can use software. We sometimes use software that helps with file names, but it doesn't work in every situation, but it can work sometimes really well. Okay, let's get back to things here. We want to listen to the second take of this person.
Okay.
So we are on person VS.
Mm-hmm.
Let's play. I don't even remember what VS sounded like. So I'm going to play the first couple of seconds of VS take 1, and then I'll jump to take 2.
Stay tuned for 2 takes. As January pounds the northern states with ice and snow, birds huddle.
Now I'm going to forward because I'm not looking at a file here. I'm just going to go right to the middle and see where we are.
Under the protection of spruce boughs
Oh, I'm still on take 1 here.
for the night, and rabbits sleep in grass-lined burrows under spreading yews. In the southeastern and southwestern states, January doesn't have the same chilling power, and wildlife there can still forage through the year-round greenery. As January pounds the northern states with ice and snow, birds huddle under the protection of spruce boughs for the night.
So I think her second take in some ways is more appropriate for a documentary.
Yes.
Yeah, has the right feel.
It's a little softer approach.
I would agree.
Yeah, a little
I
slower, a little
agree.
softer. Yeah. So it's nice to have that range. They're definitely different sounding. Let's move on to.
I'm sorry. Quick question, Dave.
Yes.
Should she put the second one first?
I think for this particular documentary, based on the direction from the client, yes, I would have said the first one second and the second one first.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, this next person is VA.
As January pounds the northern states with ice and snow, birds huddle under the protection of spruce boughs for the night.
Great sound, good pacing, nice smile, mispronunciation.
O's.
Yeah, that last word there. Yeah.
Those, yes. Otherwise, good.
Everyone
Yeah,
likes
that's
to hit the
good.
word pounds for some reason.
Yeah.
David, question
Yes.
for you. So
Yes.
if the word is said incorrectly, would that be if it's said incorrectly, would it be a dismissal for that client?
Yeah, unless we're going to be directing that person live. Yeah, definitely. We have to be able to trust a voice actor.
Definitely.
Now, here's the other thing to think about. Sometimes there are multiple ways to pronounce a word. Every once in a while, I've been in a situation when I think a word is wrong and I check it out on an online dictionary, for example, and I realize, oh, it actually is another proper way of saying the same word. So I always check first in a situation like that. Like if that voice was perfect, if we're selecting the voice actor or our client is, and we thought that person's voice was great, and if we were not directing by phone or Source Connect or Zoom or however we might be connecting, if we were relying on that person, then I would have to check the pronunciation. But if we were directing ourselves, then I might say that's fine.
Data comes to mind.
Data, yeah. Envelope,
Yeah.
envelope, tomato, yeah. There are lots of these words. Often. Often has become very appropriate, but soften hasn't yet. And maybe one day it will. I don't know. Okay. This next person is JS. Here we go. JS.
As January pounds the northern states with ice and snow, birds huddle under the protection of spruce boughs for the night.
Another bow.
Yeah, that person.
A lot of
More
sibilance.
comments. They sound like they're thinking a little much. I think that person would sound better if they were to trust their voice a bit more.
Sounds like
That
there was
makes
a lot of
sense.
tension in the.
It didn't sound comfortable.
Yes. A
It's
great way of
just-
saying it. Tension in the voice. They didn't sound quite comfortable. Yeah. Trust your voice. Everyone, when you read, have fun with your read. This is JJ.
As January pounds the northern states with ice and snow, birds huddle under the protection of spruce boughs for the night.
I like it.
A real
That's
storytelling sound.
Yeah.
And that's in the,
Yeah.
A little breathy.
Yeah.
But that's not necessarily bad, picturing what the images look like, what the music probably is. That might
Yeah.
match very nicely.
Yeah.
she had a nice voice.
Good one.
What was that initials, David?
JJ.
JJ.
Thank you.
Yeah. This is going to be a hard one to get down to like a first, second, and third place because there are really some nice reads. A lot of the good reads sound very, very similar.
Yeah.
They really do. We're at coming on person 13 here of 22. Let's get moving here. This is TB. Person TB.
As January pounds the northern states with ice and snow, birds huddle under the protection of spruce boughs for the night.
Oops.
It sounds great, everything up to that word.
Oboe.
Yeah,
It
it's a
was
great word.
round
Better
and
than that.
pleasing.
Wow.
Can I ask someone to check an online dictionary and see if there are multiple pronunciations of that word, please?
Checking.
Thank you. And as you're checking, I'm going on to person 14. Their initials are DS.
Wow.
I'm hoping that this is educational for everyone.
Yes, very.
Yeah,
Very much.
Sorry, excuse me. The definition dictionary I have has a pronunciation as well, and it just says bow.
Just bow. Okay.
Uses BOU as the pronunciation guide.
Okay. Thanks for checking. That was Robert who checked? Thanks, Robert. Okay, this is person DS.
As January pounds the northern states with ice and snow, birds huddle under the protection of spruce boughs for the night.
I'd listen to that person.
I like it. Me too.
I thought it was a little fast, but also very nice. Remember, you know, if we select someone, we can always say we need you to record. Just bring down the pacing.
Yeah, I thought it was very comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a great word for it. Okay, we're moving on to the next person. This is person 15. Their initials are MA.
As January pounds the northern states with ice and snow, birds huddle under the protection of spruce boughs for the night.
A little severe sounding.
Sing-songy.
It
Didn't-
doesn't
Good news.
flow.
Like more
Yeah.
of a newscaster.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I thought. Newscasting, yeah.
Yeah.
To use the
Intimate
word
and
that we've been,
connected is what
the
we're
word that we've
looking
been
for.
tossing around, the word comfort. She did not have comfort in her voice, right?
Mm-mm.
serious.
This is person 16, GK.
As January pounds the northern states with ice and snow, birds huddle under the protection of spruce boughs for the night.
No.
You sound mad.
Telling a joke.
Too hot.
Very
Very stylistic. Not appropriate.
Yeah, it's a little too much, a little too out there for the background of a documentary.
That plosive was pretty noticeable.
Yeah, everyone, be very careful about your quality. Listen, if you let me just say this in general. Make sure you listen back to your recordings on headphones that are of high quality, like and are studio grade headphones, not consumer grade, but studio grade headphones. Studio grade headphones are also known as broadcast headphones, professional headphones. All that means is that they have a flat frequency response. So when you listen back to your recording, theoretically what you're hearing is uncolored. There's not a manufacturer trying to make the sound better like they would perhaps on a consumer headphones. And make sure if you have headphones that have noise cancellation, have the noise cancellation turned off so you hear if you're giving your clients any noise. Okay, we're up to person 17. This is AR.
I didn't even rate. I don't even know.
AR, here we go.
As January pounds the northern states with ice and snow, birds huddle under the protection of spruce boughs for the night.
Perfect.
That was nice.
Yeah. Now I disagree with a lot of you on this one, and there's no right and there's no wrong. To me, yes, it was fast, also quite choppy. This person has glottal stops before all of the words that begin with vowels. There are tiny pauses. Let's go back and listen. I'll point out some.
As January pounds the northern states with ice and snow.
With ice, as opposed to saying with ice and snow, she said with ice.
No, birds huddle under the protection.
Birds huddle under.
Yeah.
So there's a tiny pause before that U and under, right? So instead of saying birds, what is it? Birds huddle. I'm not looking at the script. Sorry. Birds huddle under. She said birds huddle under. The little tiny pause under the under. Let's listen to a bit more.
Action of spruce bough.
Like a little pause right before of. Each time there's a word that begins with a vowel, there's a tiny hesitation. That's called a glottal stop. It's really nice if you can flow into those words without those glottal stops. It takes away the smoothness of the voice. That's something that a lot of people listen for. Okay. Moving on to person 18 out of 22. Their initials are BB. Here's BB.
As January pounds the northern states with ice and snow, birds huddle under the protection of spruce boughs for the night.
Thoughts, anyone?
Nice space.
Yeah, I like the spacing.
I liked it very.
Yeah, the spacing works great when you're casting, or sorry, when you are auditioning for something that relies heavily on visuals like a documentary. Those spaces are great because whoever's casting has the video done. When they listen to your audition, they're imagining the video in their heads. We have some clients who will even watch the video while they listen to the audition. And of course, nothing's synced up perfectly, but leaving space between visuals lets the casting team kind of imagine the visuals, and it works very nicely. Any other thoughts on that, BB?
Just wondering about the pause between ice and snow. He said with pause, ice and snow.
Yeah, that pause did not make sense to me. That to me was one fluid statement. I wasn't sure about that pause.
Yeah, that stuck out.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, the rule of thumb, everyone, is that if words should be connected, you should connect them. And that's really what it is.
Yeah, because excuse me, but in the next part, the birds, he went right through it with no pauses, and it was great.
Yeah. One way to think about this stuff is if you put a pause somewhere in your audition, then ask yourself, well, would it make sense to have a comma there? And if you think to yourself, well, no, I would never put a comma there. Well, then you probably shouldn't pause there. If something will look disconnected with a comma, usually it will sound disconnected with a comma. Not always, but that's kind of fair game quite often. Okay, we're moving on to.
That's a great rule. Thank you for that.
Of course, person 19. Their initials are DB. Okay, here's DB.
As January pounds the northern states with ice and snow, birds huddle under the protection of spruce.
There's that glottal stop again. Birds huddle under the protection.
It's kind of lazy
The
sound.
pauses and seem kind of slow.
Yeah.
Slow.
Lazy.
Little too slow. I love the fact that he didn't rush the first word, but it was actually too slow on that first word, as was just extended a bit long. First impression is just it's a little too slow, a little too careful. We're moving on to.
Serious.
I'm sorry, say that again?
It seemed a bit serious.
Yeah, it did. And usually documentaries are not so serious. People typically watch documentaries because they want to be entertained. It's not like it's a compliance video at work or something where you have to watch it. Okay, we're moving on to person 20, almost at the end of the list. We're at person 20 of 22. The initials are AG. Here's AG.
As January pounds the northern states with ice and snow, birds huddle under the protection of spruce boughs for the night.
The quality is just
terrible recording.
Echoey.
Quality.
Levels.
It's kind of harsh.
Levels are all over.
Huddle.
Yeah, if anyone talks about the levels being all over the place, that's because that was not compressed. And it sounds like she was even moving further and closer to the microphone while recording. Yeah, that can have a major impact on getting cast for things. Next person, number 21. This is initials CL.
As January pounds the northern states with ice and snow, birds huddle under the protection of spruce boughs for the night and...
Triplets.
Very fast.
A little hard to understand.
Also, the end of night sounded like a question.
Yeah, you know what? I love her voice, but the words were a little fast. I felt a little fast, but without the space between the phrasing, the word seemed even faster.
Slurry.
I would have slowed it down a bit and then left much longer spaces. And yeah, a few words were a little difficult to understand.
Yeah, and kind of weird emphasis there where it was ending, where we ended it. She kind of said spruce boughs it just sounded odd.
It sounded like a question.
Yeah.
Bruce Bowes, yeah.
Bruce
Yeah,
Bowes for the night, maybe.
that was kind of the way it sounded.
Okay, we're on person 22. Their initials are TS.
As January pounds the northern states with ice and snow, birds huddle under the protection of spruce boughs for the night. And
No space. Here's an interesting story. And this is a story I've told a few times. So some of you may have even heard it. And if you have, it's probably a good reminder. We once had a client who wanted a very specific voice. And I said, I have the perfect voice actor for you. And I got the audition from this voice actor. And I thought the words were fantastic. The way the person read was just perfect for this particular client. But the voice actor didn't leave space between sentences, just like this last guy, that person that we just listened to. And the client said, it's too fast. And I said to the client, no, he's not too fast. He just never left space between the sentences. And so I took that audition and all I did was insert space between sentences. And then the client listened back and said, oh, it sounds great now.
Yeah.
It makes a big difference to rush from one thought to the next. It doesn't give people a chance to hear. It doesn't give them a chance to imagine the visual. You feel like people feel like you're rushing them through the information when you don't leave enough space between sentences. So this guy, let me play this back again, just for educational purposes. Whether or not the words themselves are too fast, there's just no space going from one bit of footage on the documentary to the next. And it seems fast.
as January pounds the northern states with ice and snow, birds huddle under the protection of spruce boughs.
It sounds edited out. Like the
Rabbits sleep
space
in
was edited out.
grassland burrows under spreading yews.
Yeah, it does sound like the low end's cut off a little bit. Yeah.
He did it. Otherwise, a good read, and he's got a great voice.
Yeah.
I think he has a terrific voice. Yeah, the recording is a little thin, and that could be an EQ thing. I don't think it's maybe the microphone setup, but yeah, that is all very important. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think we have 12 here that we've sort of liked.
No, not me.
How many do you have?
I think it's 6.
I'd like to know your 6.
Tough
I have 12
crowd.
to go through here. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
David,
what-
excuse me for a sec. I just wanted to say thank you. I had my microphone on mute the whole time because I've got my loud air conditioner on, and I've got to go. But I really enjoyed this. This is Debbie.
Oh, Debbie. Well, I'm thrilled that this is helpful. Yeah.
Yeah,
We do
I'll
this
see you
once
on the
every
next
quarter.
one. Have a great
Absolutely.
night.
Yeah, we will
Bye-bye.
post this, Debbie.
Okay, great.
Yeah, how many people are on? Oh, I can see it in a different place. 71. Okay, cool. So, okay. I have a list of 12 other names here that there's just something interesting about each one. I announced this at the beginning, but quite a few people have joined us after. I've been admitting people throughout. So let me just say that the next 12 people who I play back, just by saying their initials, I don't even think I have to say their initials for these 12 people. There's something interesting. This should just be educational. That's what this is right now. So this is not about judging the contest. This is just a chance to learn something. I will give you the initials in case anyone wants to talk about them at some time. The first person is TK.
As January pounds the northern.
So why would someone be turned off by that? Why would a casting person say no to that right from the outset?
Untreated.
Background noise.
Background
Yep.
noise.
So
Yep.
untreated.
Yes. If anyone doesn't know what untreated means, that means that their recording room is not treated acoustically. So there's echo. The room is untreated. They should put foam on the ceiling, foam on the walls, carpeting on the floor. They should get rid of that echo. And it started with big breath.
Can you play that one more time?
Sure. And so when I hit play, listen, the first thing you hear is a listen.
As January pounds the northern states with ice and snow.
And the stop right after January.
Yeah, choppy in the beginning. Yeah. So all of those things are things that cause someone to just say, okay, next. And so playing these is great because it teaches you the things to listen for in your own auditions. Okay, we're going to play back the next person here. The initials are JSM.
As January pounds the northern states with ice.
Echo.
Echo.
Echo. And does
Lots of
anyone,
echo.
if anyone's on headphones, what else happened to that?
Did it clip? No.
No, the entire recording is in one side.
Oh.
Oops.
Wow.
Well, that's mono.
That's mono, yeah, but in mono in one channel, as opposed to splitting the mono, which is normal. Next
Cool.
person is, let's see, AR are the initials. If anyone doesn't know what we mean by mono or splitting the signal, let me know. This is AR.
You probably don't want to hear this commercial. Heck, we're not.
That was
Oh,
the
great.
wrong
Goodbye.
recording.
Okay,
Nice
that
drone.
probably won't work.
Yeah, with the
Sound like
drone
they're
in
on
the
the blimp.
background. Someone
You
uploaded the
submitted
wrong
that?
file.
Wrong file.
Now that's real bad.
Mm-hmm.
That'll get you eliminated.
Oh yeah. Okay, next person is ES. Hang on, I might be misspelling this. One moment. Here we go.
As January pounds the northern states with ice and snow, birds huddle under the protection of spruce boughs for the night, and rabbits sleep in grass-lined burrows under
It's I'm surprised that that one is on this
Newsy.
particular list, but
Sounds
it
like
is.
everything's a, sounds like everything's a question to mispronounce.
With all nasal.
Newsy. Sounds like a newscast.
It's not at peace. Yes, it's not at ease. Always read at ease.
Mm.
Okay, we're moving on to the next one. The initials are PE.
As January pounds the north.
What's with that first word, everyone?
Yikes.
As opposed to February, March, or April.
I felt like I was being yelled at.
January.
Yeah, that's what I got.
As.
Yelled at.
And
Yeah,
the first as glottal was
Too
huge.
long.
it's a little too pushed. Yeah, the first impression is a little too pushed. That's why lead-ins are great. Okay, just a few. We have 6 more of these, just for to learn a bit. This is SW.
As January pounds the northern states with ice and snow, birds huddle under the protection of spruce.
Sound like her vowels are popping, like her
A lot of
P's.
clicking.
And rushed.
Strange accents.
Wait, someone said rushed. I want you to think about that. Are her words rushed, or did she not leave space between sentences?
Didn't leave
Yeah, there was
space.
no space between sentences. It was like a big run on.
Yeah.
I feel
There's
like
a big difference between
Okay.
spacing and pacing. Remember that. Don't confuse the two, pacing and spacing.
Okie doke.
Stop at the comma even.
Just
Yes.
strange accents on which words were accented to be.
There wasn't a lot of emotion in there either.
Very clicky.
Okay, I'm on
January pounds
RC here.
and snow.
As January pounds.
Okay, so clearly not a good recording.
Nice fan.
Yeah, nice fan.
Nice fan.
That's sweet.
Okay, we have 4 left here. This is ES. ESS, actually, are the initials ESS.
As January pounds the northern states with ice and snow, birds huddle under the protection of spruce boughs for the night.
Too mysterious.
In our ear.
Right in the mic, like whispering. I don't know.
Like a
not-
lullaby.
It's not a secret.
More like a murder mystery.
Yeah.
Like a secret.
Psst, come here, I got something to tell you.
Yeah, it's just not appropriate for this.
Yeah.
We are on EBC is the next one. EBC.
As January pounds the northern states with ice and snow, birds huddle under the protection of spruce boughs for the night.
Choppy.
And rabbits
Yeah. And
Pauses,
low.
yeah, pauses are great, but to a degree when you're auditioning, I would not have pauses be quite so long in between takes.
Right, right.
Yeah, it just sounds choppy and muffled.
Sounds like she's reading a kid's book rather than like
Northern
a
states.
documentary.
That
No.
I did not hear it that way, but interesting how we all hear it differently, of course.
Rabbits sleep in grassline burrows under spreading yews. In the southeastern and southwestern states.
It's across the room.
Definitely
Nice
not
echo
treated.
chamber. Nice
And-
echo chamber.
And untreated.
Well, that person was a live person. I just muted them. Okay, this next person, only two left. This is TW, person TW. Here we go.
As January pounds the northern states with ice and snow.
So fast.
Too fast.
Yeah.
Hurry.
Too fast.
Too
Yep.
fast.
Yep. Way too fast. I'm glad everyone heard that. Here's the last person.
Hmm.
Their initials are ML.
As January pounds the northern states.
So clearly, right?
Yeah.
Echo. They start with this like finger snaps for some reason. I'm not sure why.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't edit that out.
Yeah. All of that stuff.
That's sloppy.
Yes, it's sloppy. It's a lack of attention to detail.
David,
Okay.
I have a question. Out of the 22 that were picked by staff, what was the criteria they used to narrow it down from the 250 or 270?
Good question.
It should be the direction that you see on the screen,
Okay.
which I'm not looking at. Let me go to the screen also, so I also see it. So the voice direction, right? You see it. It's a four part episode nature docuseries. 4 episodes, nature docuseries, which means more than likely the voice actor will record from their home studio, which means with 4 parts, the file naming has to be done right. It has to be someone that we can trust. So if anything goes wrong in the audition, we can't trust them.
Oh.
It says open to all ages, dialects, genders, that's fine. Looking for a storyteller. So how many of those, a couple of the people who we listened to, some of you said it sounds like a story.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's someone who's going to be way up high on that list. The tone should feel intimate. So definitely no one shouting. No one speaking forcefully. No one with tension in their voice.
Mm-hmm.
It says connected, meaning that it should be at ease, comfortable, relaxed. No stress in their throat. Engaged yet subtle. So it's kind of the same thing. Be interesting, but just a little interesting. It's still a docu-series, so the imagery, the music, the sound effects should really lead the story. So yeah, that's what to listen for.
Yeah, I would just look at it as storyteller that's connected and engaged.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. So I am going to go back and choose a first, second, and third place person based on the comments, the notes that I wrote down, and some of the comments that all of you shouted out also. Shouted is a bad word to use. You talked out.
Let's see if we match.
Roger, what do you have? Robert, tell me your initials. Let's hear.
Well, I have a few. I had 6, as I said. Number 1, RK. Number 5, GD. Number 7, RH. Number 8, HMG. Number 14, DS. And even though there were some issues, number 22, TS.
And I'll have to see how yours and mine match up. Awesome.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Any last question? Oh, 2 things, actually. First, excitingly, because this is a documentary focus, we're offering anyone who wants training, voice coaching, or demos with for documentaries 30% off.
Wow.
Yeah, so if you want coaching sessions on documentary or docuseries or anything of the sort, I'll give you a coupon code in a moment that you can use, and anything you purchase will coaching or demos will take that coupon code. The coupon code is EDGE30, and the word EDGE is all in small letters. I think it is case sensitive, the coupons. I'm not sure, but EDGE30, and that will take 30% off coaching for documentaries and 30% off demos.
Thank you.
When you, my pleasure. When you purchase coaching or documentaries for, or demos for documentaries, you just go to the same place where you buy coaching and demos. There's no specific documentary coaching link to purchase from. It's the regular coaching, but if you use Edge 30, we will know you get 30% off, and then we will know that's for documentaries, and that is for 1 week.
Excellent. Can I ask you a question or two?
Of course.
Number one, your mic is now sideways today. What's up with that?
Yeah, I've been experimenting. Just placement.
All right, cool. And then 30 is 30?
30, yes. Oh, good point. Yes. Oh, really good point. Yeah.
Percent, right?
I'm sorry. What was the question?
30%. Right?
No, just it's 6 characters. EDGE30.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Yes. If you have if you're reading something about the pitch of your voice, whether it's it goes up and down a lot, or it's more of a monotone, but not really monotone. But how much does that matter? Because sometimes people will emphasize a word and say it really high or something like that, especially in the documentary where you've got a train of thought that's going on.
I want to stress, there is never one right way to read. You could be reading a documentary for kids, for adults. It could be on a very serious nature, a very serious topic rather, about war or something, or famine, where you need a more serious tone. It could be about exploration and technology, where it's like an interesting tone. It could be about something happy, like butterflies, and where maybe you need a happy tone. And still then, even if the documentary is for young kids versus older kids versus adults, there's a difference in tone. So there's never one right way. I would say, look at your script, think about who the user is, why they're listening to that thing, who the clients are, why they want you to record. Think about your audience, the setting, the scenario, and then figure out what kind of voice works best.
Dave, I got a question.
Yes.
In terms of the audition quality, obviously quality is important. So it's a take, and it has to be in a treated room and all that kind of stuff, and a mic and all that. My question is this: I heard that casters like yourself, casting directors, listen more for performance than. Because, for example, if we have mispronunciation, we can always edit that in, for example, right? Is that true or not true? Because my impression is that the audition copy that we send in, you're looking for perfection other than just performance. Maybe I can hear from you. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. There's one person out there who has a very loud microphone. I think it's the person who spoke earlier, 2 people ago. The answer to your question is it depends on the job. I mentioned earlier in this class, or this review, that noise is still going. I mentioned earlier, if we are bringing someone into our studio and their audition has terrible sound quality, but they read really well, that's fine. The audition could have the worst quality. If we know we are going to record in our own studio, we don't care about quality. Now, it could throw the client, though. So in other words, I can listen to an audition that is of terrible sound quality, but the read is great. The voice is perfect. And even though the quality of the recording is just horrendous, I know that if that person comes into our studio, it's going to sound fine. But a client who doesn't have the experience listening to voice actors, for example, they may hear poor quality and think, oh, that person sounds terrible. Right. So, it depends on the situation.
Yeah, sorry.
There's never one right way.
If I can just elaborate a little bit, I don't mean by bad quality. So it's a taken that it's all in a treated room and everything else. So those are taken. I'm talking about sometimes you make a mispronunciation.
Oh, so with a mispronunciation, same thing.
Or when you speak, sometimes there's there's some, I don't know, some saliva sound that you didn't edit out or something like that. Should you just leave it in and just rely on performance? Yeah, exactly. Sorry.
Here's the thing. No, don't be sorry. This is why we're here. It depends on the job. If we are going to give someone, if we are going to give a voice actor a big, big job, and we say, we need you to record this in your home studio, then we want someone someone we can count on, someone we can trust that they're not going to have mispronunciations and not going to have big spitty sounds.
Got it. So
Right.
perfection, right?
Yeah. Because I'd
Yeah,
rather,
thank you.
not have to, if I give someone 20 hours of e-learning modules to get through, I'd rather not have to listen to 20 hours of e-learning modules or have someone on my team do that. I'd rather just be able to take the voice actors' recordings and say to the client, here you go. And that would be optimal. If I have to get things and then listen to everything, it's extra time, extra cost. And if we're going to, if I'm going to direct something over the through Zoom or something, or through Source Connect, we've been using a lot of Session Link Pro or IPTTL. Then if I'm directing and if there's a mispronunciation, it's okay. Maybe it's not optimal. Maybe the client doesn't like it though. Every situation is different. It really is. Ideally, have perfection. If you can, just pronounce things correctly. Anytime you have a good audition, give it to a friend and say, listen back and tell me if all the words are said correctly.
Lived an ordinary life, but people from around the world now visit her gravesite, claiming experiences
Trying to
are
meet that
anything but
person.
the ordinary. Chief investigator Andrew Epperson tells us why she could one day join.
Okay. Yeah, if you are not sure about something, ask someone else to listen. And by the way, a great way to have someone check your recordings is to give them your recording and have them tell you what words you said. Don't show them the script. Don't show them the direction that the client said. Give someone your 15-second recording, your 15-second audition, and say, tell me what the words are. And tell me what you think the client would have asked for. Because if they listen to your words and they say, I can't figure out that fifth word, well, then you know there's a problem. Whereas if you gave them the script, they would have seen the script. They would have seen the words with their eyes, and their brain would have told them what word to hear. So they won't necessarily catch a mispronunciation or a word that's hard to understand. So say to someone, here's my audition. Tell me what I said. And then at the end, tell me, what do you think the client asked for in terms of style? Do you think they wanted it to be fast or slow, happy, sad? Let them describe it to you. And if they say, well, it sounds like you're doing an announcer sound, and you know the client did not ask for an announcer style, then you know you went wrong somewhere. So that's a great way to practice. And that might be a pain in the ass to do, but if you have a really good audition, I would go the extra couple of steps to do that.
It's also great to keep a like how to pronounce or some other thing. If you don't know how to pronounce the word or you're not sure, just double check it.
Absolutely. We do all the time. Every day I'm on somewhere looking at a online dictionary somewhere. Okay. Any last questions?
I have a question. Can you hear me okay?
I can.
When you talked about earlier when it was mono and then you was talking about split, can you explain that for me, please?
Yes, absolutely. When you record voiceover, you have one mouth. I hope you only have one mouth, which means when you speak, there's only one sound source. And that sound source, one sound source, is considered a mono recording, as opposed to a stereo sound source, which I think stereo means a separate left and right recording, two separate recordings. Stereo is great if you have a whole band. You may have the guitar in one speaker or one side of the headphones and the piano in the other side. Maybe there's a choir and some people are singing more on the left and some people are singing more on the right, but you are just one person, one voice. And so we record not in stereo, but rather in mono. And then what we do in voiceover is that one mono signal is sent to both the left and the right speakers or headphones. That's the word splitting. So the mono signal is split to the left and to the right. So if you listen to just the left side of your speaker or your headphones or just the right side, it is absolutely identical. That person earlier today had a mono recording, but only coming out of the left side, and that was weird.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. Okay, last question. Anything else?
Question. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Yes. How you doing this evening?
Good. Thank you. I hope you are.
Thank you. Question I had is there any way now or in the future that your staff can give us critique and notes on it and in return what we read?
Yeah, we offer a service, a review service. I actually do the reviews myself. It's $47.
Okay.
And I listen for three things. I listen for your performance. I listen for your sound quality, the way your voice comes through, meaning your processing, your microphone selection, and I listen for your acoustics, the sound of the room. And so it's sort of like three mini reviews all in one. And you can purchase those on our website. They're $47. They're called checkups. Or no, forgetting what they're 27. They're called reviews, I think. Sorry, I'm forgetting. Yeah, I think they're called reviews.
Okay.
Oh, someone wrote, I did a review and it was great. Yay. Yeah. So what are the biggest takeaways you've learned tonight? Tell me. One or two things. Call it out.
Sound quality.
Yeah. Sound quality. Poor sound quality will get you out of the running pretty fast. What else?
You have to match the style of what's asked for.
Absolutely.
Space.
Yeah,
Spacing.
not to be choppy. Connect your words.
Glottal stops.
Yeah, they will wreck recordings. Yes.
Yeah.
If you don't make the short list, it's good to not be on the 12 list.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I love it.
I'll take
Yes.
that as a win.
Yes.
The in-between
Best
list,
comment
yes.
tonight. Who is that? Jim?
Yes, sir.
That's awesome.
Thank you. The win's a win.
Okay, everyone. Well, thank you so much.